Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us, and we hope it gives you. We're on episode 158 of our episodes, but we are on the 4th of the craftiest time of the year. It is our rundown to the end of the year to get all of our whips, current works in progress, or things that we want to try to accomplish done before 2024 is ended. It's for not only the holidays and birthdays that we have or anniversaries of any sort, but it's also for the fact of we want to have a clean slate for 2025 so we can just kind of do what we want. So we are actively trying to get all of the ideas that we had for either Christmas or birthdays gotten done, anything that we haven't completed yet done, everything that we wanted to get done for 2024. We're on the deadline. So this is our 4th out of 7 to getting it done, and you're going for the ride. So, Mom, how are we doing?
We are...
I can't believe it's the 4th episode.
I know.
I feel like we just started this.
I know. And we could do 8 if you wanted to go to the end of the year. I only went up to Christmas. So.
Okay, yeah, no, we're going to be doing 8.
Yeah.
Because that just...
Yeah, you keep saying till the end of the year, so I just thought... Yeah, I wanted to...
We're only 3 weeks away from Christmas. 3 or so weeks away.
Well, today's the 26th.
Oh no. The panic is setting.
I think she just realized Christmas is coming.
Oh, God. Yep.
So...
Sorry.
I've been working on my mosaic crochet. This is my own pattern, and I have been doing red every other color. So I have the red and then the blue and red and yellow. That yellow really worked out really great. And now I'm back into the red, almost done with that, and I think I'm going to go into this green. Now I had told you about this green before. It came off the sweater that I'm tearing apart, and I let it just relax in the ball, and I think I'm going to have, it's going to be thick enough now.
Yeah.
Because when I rolled it up, it did not feel like the same weight as the blanket.
It was thin and decompressed.
Yeah. So I think it's back to its relaxed state, and I'm going to be able to use it, which would be really nice contrast with this red and the blue and even the yellow. It's gonna really complement this blanket very much. And I think I'm almost done with it. It's just a lap blanket. It's just going to be for whoever needs it for a lap blanket, and so I'm getting excited that it's going to be done and ready for whoever picks it for Christmas at our Christmas party this year. So I do have an idea for other gifts, but I have not started them yet, and so maybe next week I'll be able to talk about those. So what have you gotten done?
Okay, so I've gotten, I feel, quite a substantial amount done for what I was hoping to accomplish. So I knit another one, kid's cowl for my daughter, because I knew that she'd end up being like, Mom, you made one for Caniel, I want one. Now my daughter, her body's different, and I don't mean that in any other way than she's just warm-blooded. She's always been a very warm, hot child ever since she was born in August.
Yeah.
And she's always just been very warm. So like, I put her in her winter jacket today, and she was sweating going up to the bus stop at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's a level of like, even though we're at this time of the year, she sweats in her winter gear without exerting herself. It's just...
She's just like her daddy.
So I chose a thinner
yarn.
material.
Yeah.
Yes, a thinner yarn. And I did do an ombre, so it's kind of like a darker sky blue. I would say it's like almost like a jean blue, like a denim blue that goes into like a sky blue to an aqua blue to like a white pastel, like baby boy blue to white, and it kind of keeps going in through those color palettes. And it's probably like a thin 4-weight yarn, or like a because I don't know if you noticed. You know how we are always talking about how we don't feel like sometimes 4-weight yarns are the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we went to Joann's yesterday and I was reading all of them, some of them said 4-weight medium.
Oh.
4-weight large. 4-weight thin. So.
Oh, I did not know there was categories.
For how many of the strands are wound together. There's a thin, like there's like a medium and a this, and I just never thought about it when I've read those before, that the material that they're winding to make it a 3-weight, there's categories as to how thick those fibers are. Wow. And that's what we've been battling.
Yes, it is, because sometimes I want, when you're making something fully like this, like a blanket, you want it to be the same weight all the way through. And it's hard to find weight that is all the way through.
Because Stephanie was complaining about that with making her stockings for Christmas.
Yes.
It's like, they're both 4-weight. I said, but if they're not the same brand, or if they came from even the slightly different machine.
Or the same lot.
Yeah, like it's not going to be the same. And then realizing that when I was reading the labels to try to find the right weight for you, I saw one of them literally say 4-weight medium density or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. Are every single one of these, even if it's categorized under the 4, their type is different based off of the strands that are wound together and how thick those strands are?
Right.
So I think that it is. I think that we need to look into that.
Yeah.
So might need to talk to your friend that works at Joann's.
Yes.
She might know those things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that means that I think this is a 4-weight, but I think this is on the thinner side.
Yeah.
Reason why I'm saying that is because when I made my son's, it was thicker. It knitted up to a thicker material. This is thinner. This is much thinner. And so it'd be more breezy, and it's not going to be as thick and stuffy on her, but it's going to be just enough where the air's not going to come and collapse into her jacket and kind of get under and into your back, sort of a thing. This will be just thick enough. She's going to be happy with this. And for as vibrant of a color palette as she does genuinely like, I chose this one because I thought Frozen, Elsa, Winter Queen. I figured
it's really perfect for that.
I figured that she was going to like that I did that, because with Canyon, when I did the red, I was thinking along the lines of Spider-Man, and then we end up getting him a blue jacket, so he's going to be more of like the blue, the vibrant navy blue and very vibrant red Spider-Man. I think that's the Amazing Spider-Man, and then you have the black and red Spider-Man, who I think is under a different classification. So we're going to do that one instead.
And it was funny because yesterday when I saw him, he had his cowl up over his face.
He's
and
like,
he says, Nana, I'm a ninja. So I played along with that because he was very happy with his cowl, and he was happy that he was a ninja.
So I just pretty much cast on as thick as I wanted. I think with Canyon's, because his material, his yarn was working up faster because it was thicker, I did 30. With hers, I did, I think, 40. And then I just knitted until I thought it was thick enough to do one final twist and then sew to seam. That's really all I did. I mean, this is not anything that's supposed to be super special or intricate. I just literally wanted something that fit her right here, so that she did not have a scarf that was going to require all these extra. As an adult, when you have a scarf that is just that one long strip that you have to either find a way of how you want it to be wrapped around or loose hanging on you, that's one thing. With a child, that aspect of constantly having to be aware of the clothing that you're wearing to not fall off of you or not get tied and snagged or yanked is more effort. So I figured making something that is less for them to have to think about, but works and does its job, would be more helpful.
Yeah.
So that's what we've made this year. So she now has one, and I will give it to her today because she hasn't seen it. And then the Virus Mobius shawl is made from the video pattern that I saw from Fiber Spider. Is done. I used I do believe it was the Red Heart colorway. It was like whatever I probably was something like charcoal because it was going from darker to grayer color palettes. I don't think
It was an ombre.
It was the ombre yarn, but it was in the black, gray, and white spectrum yarn. And yeah, I know it's kind of folded weird. It's not tucked properly.
It does the same thing as this.
Where you have that one full twist, so that when it's set on you, you're not having to hold it up. It will wrap around your shoulders, and then when you tuck it on, you can fan it out so that this twist weighs it down on the shoulders, and it holds it for you while also being very comfortable. And I feel that the pattern ended up being absolutely stunning.
And then tell them when she tried it on what she said.
She was super excited. Before I had finished it, I wanted her to put it on, so I knew that it was going to wrap around her well. She's holding it on, she's not wanting to move. I'm actually yanking and pulling it on her. She's like, don't, because she saw the act of working yarn and she thought that it was going to unravel. I had already put a stitch marker on it, so it was going to be fine. So I was like, you're allowed to be rough with it, it's fine. So, but she's like, oh, she was letting it run. She's like, I like this so much. It's so warm. And she's like, it's my colors. I'm like, yeah, I know. This woman, when she was younger, her hair was a vibrant raven black. When it changed, it did not go to a gray, it went to a stark white. So she has always had black, vibrant black or vibrant white stock hair.
Or both.
Or both, yes. When she was in college, apparently half of her head went perfectly white and half of it went perfectly black. So it almost kind of gave that Cruella de Vil hairdo. Which she is the opposite of that woman.
Yeah.
But because of that, she's always worked with that black and white palette because of her, what her body already was
naturally
was giving her for a color palette that worked beautifully on her. And so she's always wearing black, white, and grays. Always. And so I chose this, and she's like, it's my colors. I just love it. I'm like, I know. That's why I did it. And it was so great. So I just let her know that this is done. I offered to be the one to do its first wash and see if the conditioning thing will actually soften the fibers I have another crafting friend said that she saw that it could do. But what I'm going to be definitely doing is I'm going to be getting a laundry bag, putting it in that before I soak it in the conditioning solution and before I wash it or anything, because when you have works, when it gets wet, it can pull and reorientate the weight distribution and the way that the stitch is set. So I want something that will be holding it and cradling it the whole entire time, so it's being washed, but it's not being stretched and manipulated under the weight of the water. So I'm hoping that having it in I'm going to be making it a large one, so there's space, that it will help it. And because she seems to be almost like a connoisseur for crocheted or knitted clothing.
She does love it.
She looks for it in thrift stores or even department stores. That's the sort of thing she looks for. But when it snags, she doesn't know what to do about it. And recently I've become her go-to person to, repair it so that it looks right. So I can kind of copy the structure, the pattern of the knit or crocheted. I don't know if she's ever given me a knit, but crocheted she has. but I don't know if she puts them in a laundry bag, because and I'm not saying that she doesn't have she doesn't do appropriate delicate loads, but it's much more of like, I don't know if she's ever thought of the fact that she could give it an extra buffer from any other materials that could snag it or grab it or wear on it. But I figured that giving this to her, I might as well provide her with a laundry bag, because I don't know. I think that that's probably not an unrealistic, like if you're going to be making somebody a wearable of any sort, offering them like even a laundry bag along with it so that their care can last as long as possible, and the effort that you've put into it can be maintained, and they don't have to feel bad if something were to happen to it. Like not trying to guilt anybody that hasn't, but like for me that just feels like that extra step to help ensure that the gift that you've made does last, and that the people that are receiving it can appreciate it appropriately.
And this is how you should wash it. This is like, when you give something like that, it's like, and the bag is to help you know that this is going to be safe in the washer.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people where they've received gifts, but then they don't use them because they're scared they're going to wreck them, instead of recognizing that if the person who's provided them with this handmade object has also optimize the ability to take care of it by offering the tools, or even just giving them the instructions as to how to maintain said thing, even if you don't offer them the excessive tools, being like, if you were to purchase these things, it would allow this to be able to last as long as possible. Would at least give the person the agency to feel like they're not going to be a part of the demise of this handmade item if they were to enjoy it to its fullest. So I plan to do that. So I'm hoping to get that done. I know that when you're seeing this, we're actually filming on a Tuesday. You normally see this be posted on Friday. But if you're thinking about this, it's Tuesday. I'm hoping to give it to her by Thanksgiving on Thursday, because I'm thinking I'm going to be seeing her at some point that day, if not sooner. If not, I will be seeing her on Saturday. So regardless of however this works, hoping to be able to give this to her this week. And so, I let her know it's a belated birthday gift, because her birthday was the 1st of hunting season, I think, the 18th. So,
So how many skeins did you actually use on this? Was it 2 full?
No, because I ended up stopping. I don't know how my first skein went for as long as it did. Either the skein that we rolled up was smaller in volume, because this should have been able to do one more full repeat. And it didn't. I don't know. And in the end, it's fine. I think that it ended on that lighter, made for a perfect like shell.
It's just
perfect, because it started right in the middle on the white, and then it finished on the white. So
which is really awesome.
Makes it look absolutely
finished.
Yes. So I didn't want to continue because I don't know if it was going to go into dark. But the reality is that this was not going to make another full repeat. And if I did, it was going to possibly end on the dark. And I wasn't going to want that anyway. So this is all that's left of that huge, it almost looked like a 1 pound thing of yarn. So just under 2, and I think that it turned out really well. Again, if you want this pattern, look up Fiber Spider Mobius Virus Shawl, and he used the exact sort of yarn and colorway, because he said that this specific yarn with the ombre of the color worked the best with what I would agree with this sort of shawl. So he will have the list of the brand, the type, the how I did it. But I'm very grateful and excited to give this as a gift. For what I'm doing right now, though, being done with my projects, and not having the I wanted to show it to you before I started washing it, so I didn't soak it or anything, and I didn't have the conditioner or the bag to do it yet. But there was something about the fact of I've been enjoying the knitting. And I know that you and I were talking about this, how when you get into that mode of I want something that feels right to getting back into what you want to do.
Yeah.
Knitting has been my thing. And knitting without it being a complex knitting, like just knitting back and forth.
Yep.
Each row not being anything but just the same stitch.
Yep.
I don't know why. That has been like my comfort, which is why I'm making the cowls. The cowls were practical. We needed them, but there was a sense of like, it also was like scratching that itch of, okay, this is
Getting
feeling
her
good.
back on task.
But I didn't want to stop.
Exactly.
And it was like, I can do these intricate patterns. Like, I'm going to be making our version of an elf on the shelf, and you'll be seeing him next week. But there's a sense of like, I wanted to still have that side knitting pattern that I was doing. And I didn't want it to be this hyper complex pattern. I wanted it to still be the thing. So I'm going to be making fingerless mittens.
Ooh.
And if I keep wanting to have this, the fingerless mitten pattern's pretty simple, so I could be making them as side gifts on top of the more intricate gift. So I have the simple gift and the intricate gift that I can keep.
Yay.
So I'm making fingerless mittens right now, and I found this beautiful
Black and
white yarn, and they must have been twisted together. I think this is the one where we got it from the lady in GR.
Yeah.
From her box.
Yeah.
And she must have twisted them together for me. Not for me, but for her prior work. And so I'm on this. The idea is that you're doing it like this. So you're making it by the length of it. And then you're going so you cast on for as long as you want it to be. And then you go for as long as your arm is the width. And then you just do the seams where you want it to be and where you want the hole to be. And then it's done.
Wow. See, that's simple.
So,
I like that.
So it's like, just cast on as many as you want, go around as thick as you need it,
Yeah.
and then just figure out how far up your fingers or how low you want it, sew, and then find your thumb hole and sew, and then just repeat. And so
Love that.
they suggested casting on 40, which would have been like a good, like a normal mitten height, but I wanted it a little longer, so I cast it on 50, so it would be a little bit further down, because I want it to be higher on my fingers,
Yeah.
so I wanted it to be... And I'm just going to go, and I can switch colors, and I can do whatever. I'm just counting how many rows I do.
That's awesome.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that it's just the same.
I'm glad you're back. I missed you.
Well, I still have the more complex crochet patterns on the side. It's like I'm still making my amigurumis. I'm making that doll. I still have the Christmas gifts to do. But this is also the simple...
Yeah.
If I don't want to do that, I can still do this and still be productive because I'm going to be making this as side gifts.
And this is
so
easy to bring along, too.
Yeah, so it's like I have the simple, still getting something done, still scratching the itch while also still having the complex pattern on the side. That is still like me getting the the things, because I don't know why, but James yesterday, my husband was like, I really want you to make a Christmas tree shaped blanket.
Wow.
And I was like,
Okay.
I like a blanket where there's a Christmas tree inside of it, so it's still like rectangle. And he's like, no, I want the shape of a Christmas tree. I said, well, how's that going to work? He's like, oh, it's not. I was like, well, why? And he's like, I want it just for something to throw out every single year. I want it just randomly in the house. I want it so that whenever someone walks in, that we can just throw it out and be like, look, it's our Christmas tree.
Well, you could hang it on one of the doors.
He's just like, I want it where it's just like thrown on the floor so the kids can play on it. I want it where it can just be thrown over the couch, the chair, so it looks like a Christmas tree sitting in the chair. He's like, he's just like, I want it so that we can just throw it out and just it being almost like his version of the elf on the shelf item. Of it just being randomly finding a spot in the house, sort of an idea. It's kind of like the picture he was putting in my head. So the idea of like it being on the floor, it being on the couch, it being on a chair, it just like you hanging up on the wall or at the back of a door is the idea of it just being. It's a blanket. It could be used. You could fold it in half and have it as a lap blanket. But it could just be thrown somewhere and it just be
fun.
This weird object in the house of crafting. He's like, could you do that? I said, it's not a matter of could, it's a matter of what.
Yeah.
But when have I ever let that stop me? So now I'm wondering if I should do that. So I don't know. You might see me pick up some green yarn just to randomly do a Christmas tree.
There you go. All the fun stuff. Uh-oh, she got another idea.
Oh no.
Gonna decorate it now too?
I know that how to do the lights. The crocheting the bulbs.
And
stringing it.
And the stringing.
I already did the popcorn thing. I could make popcorn thing too.
She is actually thinking about this.
Would we do a star at the top or an angel?
That's up to you. You're doing it.
Do we put presents on the bottom?
Ooh, yes.
Does it have to have a skirt?
No. Unless you want one.
We could do tinsel.
Oh boy. She's getting all kinds of ideas now.
Oh no. Oh no.
You know that's your next thing. Well, you have to make that elf on the shelf though.
It's Jingle.
Yep. You have to.
Oh God. Mom. Why did he do this?
So, are we ready for the question today?
Sure.
All right. Instead of a quote or a scripture today, I found a question. And the question is there someone who needs to hear your kind words today? Mm-hmm. I think I have my person here. And when she goes home, she's got her person at home. So, is there someone who needs to hear your kind words today? How about you? Do you have someone in mind that you could give your kind words to that would help them along in life's route and in life's journey and make them feel better? Especially this time of year, it seems like there's a lot of depression and a lot of things that people try to hide. You know, they don't want to bring anybody else down. And so your kind words could bring them closer to a better day. And anybody that has kind words and a smile is always good with me. I love it when I hear other people do it, and or give their amazing smile to someone else, or help them when they don't. Nobody knows that's coming.
Yeah.
Bring a basket of food over, or take a grocery cart into the store for them because they don't want to walk it back or whatever.
Just the small things.
Just the small things. Holding the door open for somebody.
I know. That's a huge thing
Yeah.
recently, because that seemed to be so customary.
Yeah.
But apparently you can see when it's been a long time since someone had their someone else hold the door for them, because they just literally look like they're just about to cry.
And then they say thank you in such a kind way, and
Yeah.
it's just and it touches your heart.
And it doesn't cost anything.
It's exactly the point. It doesn't cost you anything but a few seconds of your time to do something nice for somebody else. But it could be the lifeline for them. You just don't know what it's doing for them.
Yeah.
And they could probably think about that thing for years. And it brings them life and joy. So,
Yeah.
Is there someone who needs to hear your kind words today?
Yeah, I think there's just an aspect to acknowledgement, because when there's so much happening, because this time of the year it can be about showmanship, especially if you're insecure about how much you make and how much you're going to be able to give.
Yeah.
And what that will look like compared to others. And I don't mean this as anything. Do you know the commercials that we've watched all of our lives about someone getting someone else a car as a Christmas gift.
Oh yeah.
Like, like I know that, dealerships do that because that's just, it's truly an option. It's something that people could do. I understand that. And that is how they produce their ability to show off deals that they do at the end of the year and stuff like that. But there's a level of like, who? But there are people who that's a thing. And I don't know if it's something that they can afford as much as just the ability to be able to say that they did it.
Right.
And have that as like I got you a car though. So it's like,
well, I have been in that position. I have given at least 2 cars in my life. One to somebody that was totally unexpected, and when I gave it to her, she's like, "Why did you do that? Thank you so much." And the other one was, she needed a car, and we were able to give one because I was able to get a new to me car, and my old car at the time was still very good. As I never wanted to give it up. Actually, my husband wanted to give me a car, and so I didn't want to give up my previous car, but then she needed one, so we were able to give it to her. Mm-hmm. So it was just like it trickles down. It really does. It just trickles down.
I'm not saying giving away a car as much because giving away a car that you already have is one thing. I'm talking like purchasing a brand new car.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that.
But. And I'm not saying that people can't. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes the expectations that we see by whether it's media expressing it or whether it's an aspect of just, it's the jobs of those marketing people to show off those potential gifts. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes I feel like it sets this aspect of how extravagant of what you offer via your money to offer somebody as some sort of status symbol of success.
Right.
To give your family or friends a level of gift giving compared to or just in general, there's this aspect of it's almost like showmanship, or it's this aspect of better than.
Yeah.
There's also just the part of the thing of like I have a friend right now who she has a lot of family members who are either out of town or have passed. So Christmas is a very hard time for her because it makes her reminisce on things that she cannot control.
Yeah.
So many of those circumstances are out of her control, with memories that she'll never be able to re-emulate because of where she's at. And so there's a sense of, though it's hard to remember those things. So sometimes I feel like when we are just we have Christmas, we have family, it's just another time of the year, we're rushing to the end of the year, look at us getting all this stuff done, and then you have families that are like, or people that are stuck with either the Christmas is going to show me how much of a failure I am because I have family and I can't provide, or it's the people that I would once have this with are no longer in my life for one reason or another, and I'm alone.
Yeah.
And I know that those aren't the only 2 reasons why people get down on this time of the year, but there's a level of how many people this year that I know of that are either making their own Christmas gifts?
Yeah.
Or just promising that they'll be there. And that being enough.
That really is enough a lot of the time.
I also saw, and I know that this video is running long, I also saw another family who what they do for Christmas, because they can't afford stuff at Christmas, they always wait till like tax return time. They have a card that they will write down what they're giving that person when their money comes in, and it will be this is like the laptop I will be buying you in 2 months.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually like it's almost like an IOU kind of gift, but it's the aspect of there's no pressure on the whole entire family to have everything that they want, that they know that those people wanted. They're not buying frivolous things, they're buying things that those people want. when
Right.
they can, and they will assign themselves of, I know that this person wants this, I'm the one who's going to be responsible for it, but this is how long it's going to take for me to do it, but know that I'm the one who's going to complete it. And that's the card that they give of, I am making sure that you get this, you're going to give me 2 months, and that's the gift that you're going to get. And it's not a, I can't afford it right now and I'm not going to put myself in debt doing it. Right. But know that I see you and I hear you and I validate that this is what you want or need to be seen or to fulfill whatever need that you have. So I know that that's the part I'm going to fulfill. And that and this family dynamic is that there's never not one thing that is never not gotten, because they always have like this time limit of how long you can wait. But there's not one thing on the Christmas list that is ever left wanting, because they always, someone in the family will be like, I'm the one who's getting it for you this year. But awesome. Here's the card so that you know I'm getting it. Right. And it's like this representation of, this is your PS5. This is the book that you wanted. This is the thing. And it's a card, and it's just them saying it, but they say that it's like they're just being like, I didn't think anyone was going to be able to get it for me this year, or I thought that this was a ridiculous gift to ask, and I wasn't planning on you doing that because I know how long and how you were trying to get all the kids gifts, so that I wasn't expecting anything because I'm the adult and whatever. Right. And it's always someone pulling them aside with that card being like, here's your card, this is me showing you that I'm going to be getting that for you, just it's not going to be right now. Right. It's going to be when I have the money. Wow. And I thought that was like really sweet.
Well, and it's the thought that matters, right?
And they say that it literally normally brings their family to tears, because whereas other families enjoy that ability of the ridiculous like gift giving of like, pass the gift, buy a gift for the women, and that enters you into it. And it's not that those things aren't fun, but that specific family dynamic is, we're never going to buy you anything that you don't need or don't want. We will always buy the things that are important to you. Yeah. But that might mean
you have to wait a little longer.
But there's the intentionality of, once that card is in your hand, that person who's going to be giving the gift is not going to back down.
It's a done deal.
It's a committed thing.
Yeah.
And you're able to be like, okay, so it's around this time of year. I'm not trying to be rude. And they're like, no. That's the way that their family is. They hold each other. Like, wow. I don't know. There was just something about that where I was like, it's very honest of like, there shouldn't be this unrealistic expectation of everyone's going to have all this huge budget in December.
Yeah, we don't have it.
But also being like, but I do see you, and this is what I still want to show, that I'm going to be there for you for Christmas, and this is how I'm going to show it. Right. I don't know. I just loved that. So, yes. Is there someone who needs to hear your kind words today? Because sometimes that might just be a card of, I am going to get this for you. Yeah. I can't do it right now. But know that this is the rain check. Yeah. This is the proof that I do see you, and I do love you, and I do want to show you how much I care.
And this is my intention.
And I will keep it. Yeah. Because God, that might be more important than having it on that day.
Exactly.
It might just show how that relationship is, and how the follow through. Sometimes that's what people need.
And it's a trust issue.
Because sometimes I think that Christmas is built on that aspect of, why wasn't I invited? Yeah. Oh, I was an afterthought. They just brought me here because they didn't want to feel bad not to invite me. But I'm not actually welcome. Instead of having one person who's like, I'm sorry I couldn't get you a gift, but here, I promise I will get you something in just a couple of months, and I promise it'll be anything that you want. Right. Anything that you wouldn't buy for yourself. Right. I don't know. I just thought that was genuinely thoughtful and sweet. Yeah. So, that might even be something that you can do. Yeah. You can make rain checks, and that is okay. You are not any less of a gift giver or a provider or someone who treasures the friends and the family that you have in your life deeply just because you can't provide right away. Right. Sometimes just showing that you are not giving up on them and showing them that you do have follow through and that you do value them enough to follow through might mean more than just making it to December 25th. Right. So, as always, we love you. We care for you. We love that you're here. Yes. We are just it's been several years since we started this, but and we might not be a huge community, but just the fact that we have people that come and see us and want to share the craftiest time of the year with us and see us through to the end is our gift, and we appreciate it so much. So as always, we just are genuinely blessed to have you as a part of this journey, and that we hope that this video was a good fellowship and maybe a time passer, so that you got whatever project that you got done a little bit further. And comment, show us what you're tell us what you're doing, tell us what your things are that you're trying to get done before the end of the year.
Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends.
And until next time, we hope that you will stitch your way
to mental health.